Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and thank you so much for clicking on this little bookish reading vlog. Today I'm super excited because I am going to be doing another how many pages, how much I read in a week as a 9-to-5 lawyer girly. This is going to be a very realistic reading week. I have stuff planned, so I know that I'm not going to be able to read a ton every single night, and I'm reading two pretty big books. So if you want to see how many pages I read in a week, keep on watching. Hello and happy Tuesday. I did not vlog yesterday because I figured that I'm gonna do basically the next day a recap of how many pages I read, the different books that I read each day. So I have my totals for Monday. Yesterday I was reading and listening to Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion, which is the second book in the Legendborn cycle series, in preparation for today, the release of Oathbound, and I read 125 pages of this book. This was a reread for me, so I honestly have very similar reaction, but I will say I'm absolutely loving this series so much more somehow the second time around on my reread, and I loved it so much the first time, so that's pretty impressive. And then I don't have the cover on it. Oh, I have the cover right here. I started reading Homeseeking by Carissa Chen, and this was gifted to me by Putnam Books, so thank you very much to them. This is a literary fiction book I've heard really good things about, that I've heard has beautiful writing. It's about basically the Chinese identities, I think mainly following a few different characters throughout different generations and reflecting on history. That's really all I know as of now, but I've heard really good things and I've had this recommended to me from a few people. So yesterday I read 90 pages of this and I already am loving it, and yeah, I'm really excited to keep reading. Okay, so now I am about to start reading for the night, and I am so excited because I'm about to start reading Oathbound, which I cannot believe I finally have in my hands. I'm so happy. She's even more beautiful, honestly, in person, and this was gifted to me by Simon Teen, so thank you so much to them. I cannot believe that. It just released today, March 4th, so I'm about to start reading it. I literally finished listening to Bloodmarked this morning, which was perfect because I forgot so many details about this series. I'm honestly really scared about this book. I'm terrified. Everyone is reading it right now. I love feeling like the community, the bookish community, is coming together. Everyone is reading it at the same time. I cannot wait. I feel like I'm definitely going to be reading this for the rest of the week because it is thick. I think it's like 600 something pages, probably 700 pages. Yeah, I cannot believe it. I also got these really cute stickers, so I'm about to sit down and start Oathbound and then also read a little bit more of Homeseeking. Happy Wednesday. I am about to start reading for the night because literally all I've been thinking about all day is reading Oathbound because I started it last night and I'm just so obsessed. But I wanted to do a quick update of what I read yesterday and how many pages I read yesterday. It was a pretty good day for me being pretty busy after work and it being release day. So I finished reading Bloodmarked and I read 54 pages of that. And then then I read a bit more of Homeseeking. I read 72 pages of Homeseeking. Then I started Oathbound and I read 104 pages of Oathbound. And then I also started listening to my audiobook of the week, Wild Dark Shore. I only listened to 5% of that. I'll give you an update tomorrow of how many pages I've read. But yeah, all in all, a pretty good reading day. I listened to a lot more of the audiobook today and I'm really enjoying it. So I will probably do a check-in with that tomorrow morning. And now I am about to sit down and read more of Oathbound and more of Homeseeking. Good morning. It is currently Thursday and I'm about to head to work, but I wanted to do a little check-in and talk about the audiobook that I have been listening to this week. I started it Tuesday because I was finishing listening to Bloodmarked at the beginning of the week. But I have been listening to Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, which I believe was just released on Tuesday. I read Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte back in 2022, I think. That was one of my favorite books of the year. I absolutely loved her writing. I did not realize that she was releasing a new book. I was super excited when I found out. Yeah, right now I'm about 30% through. I'm really enjoying it. It is, I think, a type of like atmospheric, a little bit of a mystery, literary fiction, romance book about essentially this family who is living on a stranded island, dealing with what I'm assuming are the effects of climate change, living basically completely isolated from human population. And this woman basically is stranded. Her boat wrecks and she turns up on the shore of this island and this family saves her. And the audiobook is amazing. It's a full cast production and there's a lot of different point of views of all the different children, the dad, and then the woman, Rowan, who shows up. I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't really know what's going on and we don't really know the specifics of why the family is currently on this island alone, why everyone else has completely deserted them. However, we're finding out a lot bit by bit and they have a really traumatic past. And yeah, the writing is gorgeous. I feel like it's a really timely book, especially with climate change, and I'm excited to keep listening. So that is what I'm about to do for the rest of this week. Hello, happy Saturday. I have not checked in or provided any updates for the past few days because I've been super busy after work and honestly haven't done as much reading, and that's why this is a realistic week in my life of how much I actually read, especially when I have things planned. Thursday, I got dinner after work with a friend, which was awesome. And then last night, I had a birthday dinner for my dad. And so I didn't read that much, but I figured I would do quick updates of Thursday and Friday, how many pages I read, and then get into my weekend plans to finish off this reading week. So on Thursday, I read 50 pages of Oathbound, so not that much, and I read or listened to 25% of Wild Dark Shore, and then I read 90 pages of Homeseeking. So all in all, pretty decent, okay day. Okay, so I just did the math, and Wild Dark Shore, I think it's like 325 pages. So the past few days I've been been listening to about 25% a day, which is like 81, 82 pages. So pretty decent. And then yesterday was Friday. I did read 100 pages of Oathbound. I'm now a little bit over halfway. I think I'm on page 361 out of like 650. So we're getting there. I did not read anything in Homeseeking. I did not have the time. And then I listened to 27% of Wild Dark Shore, which I'm estimating was probably like 90 pages. The good news is, although I don't know if I'm gonna have time this weekend, I have like less than 20% left in Wild Dark Shore, and honestly, I'm like really itching to finish it. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like as the book has gone along, the mystery part of it has really picked up, and I also just got to a really big cliffhanger with 20% left, so there's definitely more to be revealed, and the writing is just like typical Charlotte McConaughey, gorgeous writing, really timely. It's really, I feel like, about climate change and the impacts of climate change on family unit, on, you know, the things that we possess and treasure, like our houses, our possessions, and just on the environment and the effects on different animals and species. And it's been a really moving book, especially of grief. There's a lot of grief of this family who lost their mom at a really young age. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of like itching to go get the physical book to finish reading it, because I know that I could finish it so quickly if I was reading it. I probably have like, you know, 70 pages left, but we'll see. I feel like I'm gonna try to finish listening to it. I don't know if I'm gonna have time this weekend. My goals for the weekend are to finish Oathbound and Homeseeking. They are taking me kind of as long as I expected. They're both just two, honestly, like really big books and take a decent amount of brain power, so I'm trying to take my time with them. Oathbound, I am determined to finish this book this weekend in this reading vlog. I feel like I'm getting to crazy parts of the story. Like I said, I'm a little over halfway, so I feel like I can do this if I sit down and I read a good chunk today and then finish it tomorrow. That's my plan. I'm absolutely loving it. I love Bree. I love the different perspectives we're getting. It's just, it's so much fun, but it's also so sad. Like, everyone is going through it in this book. Like, everyone. Homeseeking, I think I have like 150 pages left, which is not much. So I'm gonna finish this weekend. I know that for a fact. I wanted to finish it today, but we'll see. I definitely think I'm gonna read a good chunk and then probably have a little bit left to finish tomorrow. But I'm absolutely loving this book. It is so beautiful. I'm learning so much. My opinion has not changed from the last time I did a check-in. I feel like if anything, I'm just loving it so much more. I really have been thinking about it whenever I'm not reading it. Yeah, I feel like I'm like immersed in the history and the culture and the trauma of these Chinese people and everything that they lost, but also the romance and the love story between the two main characters, and then seeing like at the same time everything that they have gone through separately with their families, and the different wars and everything has been so fascinating and really heartbreaking. It's really good. So I cannot wait to finish this weekend. Let's read. About to finish reading Oathbound. I have literally 40 pages left. Little sliver. And I'm excited and I'm scared for whatever this cliffhanger is gonna be. So let's read. Hello, I am about to wrap up this video, but I wanted to do my last check-in and update for how many pages I read on Sunday to complete this reading week. Honestly, Sunday was such a good day of reading. I finished 3 books, the 3 books that I read all week. I read about 70 pages of Wild Dark Shore. I finished listening to it and I had about 20% left. And then I read 114 pages of Homeseeking and finished that book. Finally, I read 107 pages of Oathbound and finished reading that one. So we are gonna total up how many pages in a second, but I wanted to give pretty quick reviews of the 3 books. Let's start off with Oathbound. I cannot believe, like, honestly, I finished reading this. I'm kind of sad. I took my time with it. It took me all week. I still just wanted to live in this world forever. This was a big book. It definitely was a world building, plot building, character development book. Tracy has said that Oathbound was never intended to exist when she first thought of created the series. Over time, it became obvious, especially increasing the number of books in the series, that a lot of the plot and the character development needed to happen. I really enjoyed this. It's a 5 stars. Honestly, the only reason it would be like a 4.5 stars is just how long it was, but at the same time, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I just love being with these characters, and I think that a lot of the length just had to do with character development, not only of Bree, but a lot of the different side characters. We kind of get a bit more of history, especially with the different point of views in this book, which I loved. So overall, I love Bree. She was going through it in this book, but I also just feel like she became even more confident and powerful in herself and with her powers. She developed so much throughout this book, and I'm honestly so excited to see her in the final book and see just her come into her own body and her own power and her title. I'm making this as spoiler free as possible, so there's a lot I want to say that I won't say, but Nick, I actually loved so much in this book, and that's super interesting to me because I've always been Team Cell, and I don't know if I've necessarily changed that. Like, I think I am still Team Cell, but Nick, I just feel like you could tell how much he loves and supports and respects Bree throughout his character and the scenes in this book, and I just loved it. Like, I really was kind of giggling over this man. Like, I can see now why people do ship him and Bree. And all of the side characters, I love Alex so much. I don't know why. Yeah, it was a great time. I highly recommend. I honestly was just really impressed with how Tracy built up this world and how she really expanded on the different magic systems in particular, especially Bloodcraft and Rootcraft, as well as the demon disease and just like the folklore behind the demon's first order. Great read. Okay. Okay, so then Wild Dark Shore, I absolutely love the audiobook. If you're gonna read this book and you're into audiobooks, I definitely would say do the audiobook. It's a full cast. The accents of like the Australian family were perfect, and the audiobook just made the book feel so much more atmospheric and immersive and really built on the tension. Wild Dark Shore is definitely a genre bender. It is literary fiction, kind of a mystery, kind of thriller, a bit of a romance. It really had everything. It was stunning and really, really heartbreaking. It deals a lot with grief and trauma between not only the family but also Rowan, the main female character. There's an underlying mystery that I could not solve on my own. There was constantly stuff unfolding, and I just loved the dialogue and the themes of climate change, humans' impact on the environment, but also us sharing the space with the earth and the different animals and species that share the earth with us and the impact we have on them. It really was just a very foreshadowing book, but also a very timely book considering the world that we currently live in. It made me cry multiple times, so I would definitely recommend. I gave Wild Dark Shore a 4.5, so thumbs up. And finally, Homeseeking. I love this book, another 4.5. This was beautiful. The writing was beautiful. The romance between the two main characters was heartbreaking and beautiful. I loved the friends to lovers to estranged to coming back together, but it was so much more than that, focusing on their families and the struggles that they went through throughout history. I feel like I learned so much about just Chinese and Taiwan history and culture and the different wars, but also the different struggles and challenges that the Chinese people had to deal with leaving China and going abroad, going to the US or to Europe. I just thought it was a really, really well done literary historical fiction slash romance. All right, so that is the end of this little reading blog of how many pages I read in a week. I did total it up, and in total I read 3 books, I finished 1 book, and I read 1 audiobook and 2.5 physical books. And in total I read 1,644 pages, which I think is pretty good. I had a relatively busy week. I had a few nights where I didn't really get any reading done, which is pretty typical, and I still finished a decent amount of books and 2 pretty big books that were on my physical TBR that I was super excited about. If you enjoyed watching this video, definitely let me know. I would love to hear which of these books you are looking forward to reading, or if you have read any of them. If you want to see more bookish videos from me in the future, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!